Hello, Story Wilson with RSW Solutions. We're looking at a 2008 LR3 vehicle made by Land Rover, of course, and we're going to address one of the #1 vehicle engine performance issues, which is the injector cleaner problem. So we're going to clean the injectors today. We're using a special tool made by OTC. It's the OTC7448 Fuel Injection Cleaner Canister System. And we're going to use the OTC Inject R Clean fluid. And the process, the overview is that we're going to disconnect the fuel pump system in the vehicle. We're going to connect up our own supply of fuel through the OTC Fuel Injector Cleaner canister. And we're going to supply our own injector cleaner directly through the fuel rails into the injectors themselves. Thereby, we're going to run the engine on this system. So we're running the engine on this system, passing cleaner directly through the injectors, and it should clean the system very nicely. And then after we're done, we're going to put some B12 Chem Tool fuel treatment into the actual gas tank itself. One of the first things we're going to do in this process is disable the fuel pump system. Since we're going to be disconnecting the fuel rails on the engine from the fuel lines in the car, we disconnect the fuel pump. So we're not actually pumping fuel in this process, because we're going to be providing our own substitute for the gasoline, which will be the injector cleaner. So you're going to need to pull fuse F1 from your fuse box, and that should upper top referred to your diagram here, and it's 25 amp fuse. We're going to pull that, and that should disable the fuel system. Looking at the right rear corner of the engine, we can see the fuel line that comes in, does a turn and meets up with a regulator, a pressure regulator check valve here. And we've already removed the fuse for the fuel pump in the car. I already ran the car for about 10 seconds to maybe get rid of some of the fuel pressure that's in this line. And we're going to take this clamp off. And the service manual says, or probably take this clamp off actually, and we're going to tie in right here. The service manual says it's impossible to do this job without spilling fuel. So I'm going to put some absorbent pads down here and make sure that none of the fuel gets down on any hot manifolds or anything. And make sure the car is cool before doing this. You really don't want any fuel to escape here and catch fire. So there was a good amount of fuel that came out of that line, even though I ran the engine till it stalled with the fuse removed. The majority of this fuel actually came out of the fuel rail side. Not much came out of the steel line. Most came out of that rubber line. And you can see the absorbent material I had. You really want to make sure you catch this and don't start a fire. So this is the setup we're going to go with. Here's the OTC fuel injection canister. And we're going to fill it full of the cleaner in here. We're going to pressurize this with shop air at about 20 to 25 psi. We'll see how that works. And we have the line going through, and you can see how it intercepts with the fuel line, and we're tied right into the fuel injector rails. We're going to run the car like this. Alright, we are running the engine with about a little over 30 psi of pure fuel injector cleaner. We are tied directly into the fuel rail, and right now the engine's running off of our fuel injector cleaner. We're going to raise the RPM to about 1,000 and run this canister dry. And then we'll replace the fuel lines, reassemble everything, double, triple, quadruple check that there are absolutely no leaks, and then you're good to go. So we're all put back together. You can see the fuel line reassembled. The car started right up, and idle is improved tremendously. That's one of the symptoms, is a rough idle or a stumbling on cold start, and a lack of performance. And this system cleared it right up. The total cost of all of this, of everything you saw today, was about maybe $140, $130. So it really beats taking it to the shop. Alright, so here's what I did for this fitting to fit into the LR3 fuel system. It's a 1/4 female iron pipe to 1/8 female iron pipe reducer coupler. And this is a 1/4 inch, I believe it's a 3/8 barb. It's definitely larger than a 1/4 inch barb. I think it's 3/8 or a half. Anyway, and I got this clamp too, just to make sure it's really snug. You don't want any leaks in this system. Very dangerous if you have any leaks. So I have to make absolutely certain that you're operating no leaks, because you don't want any fires to start. But overall, made a huge improvement in the performance of the engine at idle, I can already tell.